than 200 people killed on the northwest coast of Java, Indonesia.
This time though, triggered by a volcanic eruption and collapse into the sea, a tsunami would be generated by volcanic flank failures, meaning not only was it undetectable to buoy prevention systems.
The Indonesian Disaster Agency does have sensors on buoys on various coastlines, but the reality is their warning system is notoriously unreliable. It was an underwater landslide that triggered the waves. There's just no way for the system to have detected it.
It would also strike at approximately 10 p.m, closing in on its prey in the darkness of night.
That band's lead vocalist surviving the killer wave, asking for prayers for his dead friends and his wife, now lost.
But if you'd like to learn more about this specific volcano eruption, then you definitely won't want to miss our Most Explosive Volcanoes episode, which we will link at the end of this video. And while the Anak Krakatoa case was tragic in its own right, it simply couldn't compare to our final case, which is considered one of the deadliest natural disasters mankind has ever endured.
Was ist das? Oh, Tsunami.
December 26th, 2004. An earth-shattering 9.1 earthquake off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia, triggered a massive tsunami that spanned across 14 countries, including India, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and even sending waves across the globe as far as Africa and California.
Wave is a good 15-20 feet tall. Easy.
It was early in the morning on coastal resorts when many tourists were enjoying their Christmas vacations in the sun and would have been waking up with plans of relaxing on Boxing Day after the festivities of Christmas Day itself. No one would have ever expected or could even comprehend what was heading in their direction. Unlike in some of our other cases which have occurred slightly more recently, tsunamis and their warning signs were not as widely recognized at this time, and sadly, the earthquake that triggered this tsunami was so far out to sea on the fault line that it would not be felt by many coastal regions. This resulted in many stealth tsunamis that, instead of immediately scaring people away from the shoreline, would almost lure them into danger's path.
Was da hinten abgeht?
Irgendwie ein Seebeben gewesen sein.
Nein.
In many resort areas, the sea line retreated, causing foreign tourists and even some locals to marvel at the shorebed being revealed. Boats being stranded where they would usually float atop of crystal clear waters. In the distance, many could see what looked like a white rolling trough off the horizon, with some wondering what exactly was heading towards them. It would only become apparent when, tragically, it was far too late and there was absolutely nowhere to escape. The waves, travelling at hundreds of kilometers per hour, reached up to 100 feet high and travelled up to 10 miles inland in some areas. The destruction caused by the tsunami was unfathomable. Resorts and entire villages were completely wiped out in seconds as the waves crashed ashore with immense power. With many of these islands being quite flat and shorelines with acute lead-up angles, the wave crescendos were emphasized. We can try to put into words the damage that this caused, but the footage really just speaks for itself. In India alone, over 5 million people were displaced due to flooding caused by the tsunami's powerful surge. From shorelines to train stations, the tsunamis had no remorse, wreaking havoc on anything and everything in its path. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami showed us just how destructive Mother Nature can be when she unleashes her wrath on mankind. stories of survivors who had no choice but to helplessly witness their loved ones being swept away by powerful waves, only to be reunited days later, while others were not so lucky and would struggle to come to terms with what had happened to them.
I remember sitting up going, what on earth is that noise? And he got up and he opened the curtains and he had a look of horror on his face. And then everything else just started crushing back and rising up above my head. As well as pushing me backwards, it then started to push me under. And then I remember thinking, I hope it's quick.
This tsunami killed 230,000 people across the 14 countries it decimated. It remains one of the deadliest natural disasters ever. Tragically, however, for those countries that surround the Ring of Fire fault line, where earthquakes and tsunamis are quite prone, this is not the first, nor will it be the last, that will wreak havoc on their coastlines and communities. These catastrophic events highlight just how powerful Mother Nature can be, and just how quickly these tsunamis can cause immense destruction. To date, there is no way that mankind can think of to stop the force of a powerful tsunami, and evidence has shown Mother Nature's ability to scale seawalls and preventative measures. So, which of these monstrous tsunami waves shocked you the most? Sound off in the comments, leave us a like, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, on Disaster Zone.